Tamara, CEO of Taevo Publishing, and I wanted to talk a little bit about digital publishing rights. I did an earlier video where I spoke about your publishing rights, kind of the difference between your copyright and your publishing rights, and I started to tiptoe a little bit into knowing the value of your rights, knowing the value of your publishing rights, and their know what it means, because I can tell you right now, um, people don't realize in about 50 years, digital publishing rights are going to be worth their weight in gold. And you're like, what are digital publishing rights? Exactly like it sounds. The right to reproduce your book electronically, the right to reproduce your works in digital form, whether it's an ebook, whether it's in PDF, whether we're doing it trailers, book trailers, whether it, anytime that we're going to take your work, the words in that intellectual property, and we're going to reproduce it in another digital form, whether we do it like, let's say, as a PowerPoint, and we decide we want to include videos with it to enhance your book. That's digital publishing rights. All of that falls under the scope of digital publishing. People tend to think digital publishing only encompasses ebooks, and it doesn't. Like, there are a lot of aspects of it, even like publishing on a website, that falls under digital publishing. So a lot of times when people are signing publishing contracts, they're not realizing that, one, either the publisher is not accounting for digital publishing rights, or two, they are, and they're taking everything. So the two spectrums you're going to have. You're going to have the publisher who doesn't even mention it, who doesn't mention digital publishing rights at all in the contract. And as a result, when you're ready to do an ebook, or you're ready to talk about doing an ebook, that area gets very gray and murky and muddy. And the publisher's not really sure what they own or what you own and what you're allowed to do and what they're allowed to do. Haven't really decided on a royalty rate. Not really sure what it'll be sold for. Check your contract. Sometimes they'll put some very generic wording in there where they'll say they own the right to publish your book in all forms. And if they say all forms, that would mean print and digital. Some would say they are taking on the right to publish your print book. Some would say they're only taking on your digital publishing rights. That's what Taevo does, for instance. We don't take on print publishing rights. We like to give authors that freedom and that leeway to still self-publish a print book if they want to. Um, and not just that. Again, I'm always forward thinking. I'm always pondering the future and planning for the future. I know 50 years from now, digital publishing rights are going to be worth their weight in gold. I just happen to know this. I mean, it's common sense when you look at just the way everything is playing out, the shifts that are taking place with regards to leaning towards technology more, everything being digitized. I'm like, hey, if you want your print publishing rights, go for it. As a matter of fact, I'll be here as a mentor and as support to help you. I'll connect you to all the right people. I'll even, if you want somebody to do it all for you, we even have an add-on program where we'll do it from end to end, cover to cover, front to back. We'll do your print book for you. But what I'm saying is, for me, I feel like it's more beneficial to try and start snapping up digital publishing rights. That's just how I look at it, because any publisher that has any common sense will tell you the real money is in the backlist. Like, we're always excited about upcoming and new releases and whatnot, but where you keep generating that money is really in the backlist. And that's where it's the books that have already been published and are still sitting, in your catalogs, but are still being sold. You can still market them, you can still promote them, you can still find different avenues and different angles with which to market those books. Um, I can honestly say, like, the digital publisher that has retained the digital publishing rights of dozens of authors come the year 2060 is going to be sitting very pretty. I believe the digital publisher or the publishing company that has been able to amass as many digital publishing and distribution rights with regards to ebooks as possible is going to be sitting very pretty in the year 2040 and 2050. Your digital publishing rights will be worth their weight in gold in the future. And I'm not talking future as in Jetsons future. Like, people, when I talk about the future, people like their eyes will glaze over sometimes as if I'm talking about a future of like flying machines and whatnot. They're literally, when I say to people, I'm like, what do you think reading is going to be like in the year 2030? Their eyes just kind of like, what? That's so far in the future. Okay, what do you think it'll be like in 2020? 2020? That's so far away. So, I will say this. The future is now. The future is not tomorrow. The future is now. So, understand what your digital rights are. Understand if you do decide to sign a publishing deal with a company, know what rights you're giving up, know what rights you're retaining, so that way later on down the line you don't get into this weird gray area where you're like, hey, I'm trying to do an ebook and I want to go through this company over here, but then you find out they try to say, oh wait, no, we own your digital publishing rights, and you're like, no, you don't. I looked through my contract. I don't see anything in there where it says you own that. Oh, well, it was implied. No, it's not implied. It needs to be written. It needs to be written. If you didn't write in here that you are exclusively obtaining the right to publish this book in all forms, including print and digital, kind of doesn't fly. Doesn't fly. Not even kind of. It just doesn't fly. So I hope that I taught you a little something, something. I hope I shared something. That was my goal, as always. So I just want to say thank you for watching. Keep writing, keep creating, keep inspiring, and most importantly, just keep loving. Any questions, you can always email asktaevo@taevo.net, and I'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions for you on one of these videos. You can also check out our website at taevo.net. That's TAEVO.net. Here to answer all of your questions. We want to be your first line of contact when it comes to all the questions you have about the publishing world and writing your book, publishing your book. Who should you work with? How do you find them? We definitely want to be that go-to person for you that you can trust. So until then, take care and be blessed.